Yes, the third and most controversial failed drug test in his 12-year-long professional career, amidst the final chance to remain at the top of the heavyweight tree against rival Anythony Joshua. How did it all go so wrong for Dillian Whyte? Well, let's have a closer look into the hairy crack of the trio of drug testing scandals. Let's see if there's more to the story than meets the eye, and find out if the body snatcher really is Britain's worst drug cheat. Strap in! Ah yes, well I can't lie, I'm a little bit gutted. Old Dillian's always been a favourite fighter of mine. I ruddy love him, I do. Not only was I absolutely moist for the Joshua rematch, but he gave us some brilliant memorable nights of boxing over the years, didn't he? Yes, look at this one, bosh. But there's no glossing over it. This is the third time a failed test has come to our attention. And although we may never know the absolute truth behind his most recent failure, it's definitely not a good look, and it leaves a lot of questions to be answered. Although to be fair, if I was Dillian, I wouldn't worry too much, because all you got to do is tell the board to do one, make a little noise about eggs, yeah, well, you know I love an omelette and that, bruv, and then have a little chinwag with Piers fucking Morgan. Bosh, then you're cleared. Salted. No, but on a double serious note, let's dive in. Let's rewind and see where the downfall began. Well, we have to return all the way back to October 2012 after his victory against journeyman Sandor Bollock. This is when Dillian, who was on a very good run at the time, tested positive for a banned stimulant called methyl. Spot on, or DMAA as it's also known. And although he appealed, he was subsequently given a 2-year ban by UKAD, halting his career that was just starting to take off. But there is actually a lot more to this story than we realise. Here's why. So Dillian claimed that this came from a pre-workout supplement that he bought over the counter called Jack 3D. Granted, he failed to seek professional or medical advice before using the supplement, so overall the burden does lie with him. However, Jack 3D has faced some heavy criticism over the years. Hailed as one of the most powerful pre-workout supplements available on the market, the original product was actually banned in Britain in August 2012 because it was found to contain the mentioned banned substance DMAA. This lethal product was also linked to some very tragic deaths, including a 21-year-old in New Zealand and Claire Squires, who ingested it beforehand and sadly passed away whilst running the London Marathon. This ultimately caused the MHRA to act and deem it an unlicensed medicine, banning its use in sport. So amongst all this, it could be said that Dillian was naive to not seek professional advice, but then again, he could be considered a bit unlucky really, since the product was banned only 2 months before he failed the test, as we can see here. However, it does have to be said, on the other hand, it's difficult to know how long this stuff stays in your system for, and this opens up a wormhole. For instance, did he take it before its ban in August and the trace amounts were found in October? Or did he take it in September, knowing it was banned but thinking it might be out of his system in a month? There's a million difficult questions surrounding this fiasco that we need to delve deeper into to find the answers, but to be honest, I can't really be fucked, so yeah, anyway, moving on. The body snatcher served his time like a man, returning to the ring in November 2014. He found his form again, producing a string of knockout victories, but then in 2015 got absolutely fucking walloped by AJ. Soon after this, he set up on the comeback trail, defeating on points the likes of Dave Allen, Robert Helenius, and of course Chisora, in that ruddy epic war. Then his breakout moment came when he propelled himself to the top end of the rankings with that naughty spark out of Lucas Brown. Yes, look at that, sweet child of mine. Another alleged drug cheat there, by the way, you saucy little monkey, Lucas. Do you know what, I've got to be honest, I don't understand all the drugs flying around in this sport. These people need to take a leaf out of my book. I just use hard work and motivation to become the proper athlete I am. Stop cutting corners, you big minges. I mean, look, this was me before, but then I got my mindset right, and just look at the transformation. Look at the rig on me. Blinding, innit? Fucking popping peddies and Jack 3D bollocks. You don't need drugs, you mug. Sort yourselves out. Fucking liberty. Anyway, where was I? Yes, after Big Daddy was a solid yet shaky final moments win over Parker, and then another highlight reel knockout in a rematch against Del by Bosh. Yes. However, then the fan hit the shit once again. The 20th of July 2019, after a victorious 12-round war against Oscar Rivas, Dillian was then suspended of the WBC interim title he held just days after the bout due to a UKAD's test showing inconclusive results, or what they like to call an adverse finding. That adverse finding was the banned steroid Dianabol. But you know what, things get a little bit sticky around this one as well. So 2 days before the fight, he and the team were alerted of a failed test by UKAD. An emergency hearing was held, and for reasons unknown, UKAD said, shall we let the fight go ahead? Yeah, go on, fuck it. And the bout was allowed to commence. But, nobody told Rivas either. That's a bit of a liberty, isn't it? Bloody hell. So that was another conversation they had in the meeting. Shall we tell the opponent about the foul test? Shall we tell Oscar about it? Nah, fuck it. He won't mind, will he? It's only a bit of Diana, innit? Terrific. Yes, so controversially, business went on as usual with a failed test and the opponent unnotified, for reasons never revealed. Now, even though the findings were highlighted close to the fight date, in fairness to Dillian, he did pass his final pre-fight test on July the 17th and final post-fight test on July the 21st. However, this didn't stop the WBC from acting and suspending him immediately, leading to a long legal battle which finally came to a close nearly 5 months after the event, 24 hours before the Marius Wack fight. This is when UKAD finally cleared him of all wrongdoing, issuing the statement saying in summary there was nothing in his urine pointing to steroid use. The levels of dianabol found were extremely low, tests were passed pre and post fight, and finally the inconsistencies point towards contamination, concluding that the results would not have affected his performance against Rivas. It was all over, sort of. A few people said what about the B sample, but fuck knows what happened to that. Never mind. Yes, other than that, the fan reaction was positive, and Big Dilly was back and busy, chasing them world titles. So let's forward on a little bit. While his roller coaster journey remained turbulent through the Povetkin loss, he redeemed himself with a victorious rematch, but then received a schooling from Tyson Fury in his long-awaited attempt at winning a world title. After a short break, the Franklin comeback was unremarkable. However, it did set up the big saucy Joshua rematch that garnered a lot of intrigue, but lo and behold, yeah. And here we are. So we're up to the present day. Dillian replaced by Hellenius and Joshua made mincemeat out of him. A ruddy shame we'll probably never get to see a repeat of that grudge match. But back to the main point. The body snatcher is now in a double awkward position. With this being his third foul test in his professional career, the public are finding it very hard to see his innocence on this occasion. Whereas public opinion changed once UKAD revealed contamination could be the cause in the Rivas fight, and he could be forgiven for making the mistake of buying an over-the-counter supplement that should never have been on the shelves in the first place. Unfortunately now, there's a lot of doubt placed on all three situations. At the time of making this video, it's not actually known what the latest adverse finding is, and after Conor Benn's catastrophic handling of his situation, it's more than likely things will be kept quiet for a very long time as legal battles ensue behind the scenes. But I've got to be honest, I've got to be in my bonnet, because like all these high profile cases of failed drug tests, it just doesn't quite make a lot of sense to me. It's always scrabbled my brain, do you know what I mean? Yes, I can see the argument that he may have taken a banned substance to give him the best chance of beating Joshua, and yes, he could have taken shortcuts because a win for Dillian would have set him up for an even bigger money fight. But then again, you've just got to ask, why the ruddy hell would he jeopardise the guaranteed multi-millions he would earn from this fight, knowing that it probably would be his last massive payday, his nice old retirement fund? I just can't get me noggin around it, it just seems mental to me. Which brings me on nicely to the testing agencies. Dillian said he insisted on VADA testing for this fight, so here's how VADA actually work for those of you who don't know. They can test fighters as much as they want day or night during the build up to a bout. When fighters sign up for VADA testing, they hand over to VADA their training schedule. They then have to let VADA know via message every single time they go anywhere outside of their home or anywhere different to what their training schedule says, allowing testers to be able to random test fighters anywhere and at any time throughout camp. It's that simple. So when random testing looms over you every single minute of every day, the risk of trying to cheat even before camp is really absolutely huge. Surely you'd have to be a fucking total twonk to do it. And yet, they still do. It's just mind-blowing they think they can get away with it, regardless of what Dr. Bloody Usman says. I mean, if this bloke's a doctor, my arsehole can speak fucking Spanish. But then again, I hate to say it, but maybe he's right. There's been so many high-profile cases over the years, it's happening all the time. Most recently, Dillian and Alicia Bumhole. And of course, no one ever admits to any wrongdoing.
Wasn't me.
Shock horror. But by the law of averages, some of them might have been unlucky with contamination, etc. However, some of them must have been on the naughty stuff. So since these substances apparently stay in your system for a period of time, and random testing is always dangling over the fighters, the only option these cheaters really have is to use some really strong masking agents that more often than not cover it up in a very short period of time. I'm talking within days, in case they are greeted unexpectedly with that random test. But if that is the case, then there's a big problem. Because if these masking agents aren't showing up in the drugs tests, then unfortunately this issue in boxing will actually never be solved. Some fighters may get caught when they make a mistake and the masking agent don't have the full effect, as we've seen in the past, but on the whole, most people are going to get away with it, leading to enhanced fighters all over the ruddy shop. What can be done, if anything, to change it? I don't know, it's a poser, innit? Fuck knows. It's probably just here to stay. But anyway, back to Dilly Willy. In a nutshell, we don't know the facts yet with his most recent scandal. We can't really say if he is innocent or guilty at this time. But as it stands, and the way things look, the body snatcher really has blown his whole career up. Lost out on a multi-million payday, and with 3 failed tests, he's currently looking like one of Britain's worst drug cheats. Hopefully it all comes out in the wash. We shall see. Let me know your thoughts below, what you're saying, you beauties. Peace up, A-Town, for now. Good night, good bosh.